and a big welcome back to the Wee Lorna channel. Today I'm going to be making a delicious Scottish haggis. So I'm not making the super complicated version that you'd buy in the butchers. I actually don't know anyone that makes that version in their own kitchen, but I have come across so many old recipes for making mock haggis. So it's a really easy haggis. Sometimes it's called a pot haggis, sometimes it's called a crofters haggis. It's basically oatmeal, liver, onions, and lots of seasonings, and it actually tastes really similar to a traditional haggis. There's obviously not any of the other ingredients in there, but it is a really delicious haggis. So I hope you enjoy this recipe, and if you did, please feel free to drop me a comment in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you got on making your haggis, or if you're going to make it. So let's get started on our delicious Scottish haggis. So you might want to pause the video here at all these lovely ingredients to take a note, and we're just going to start by filling a pan of water and adding our liver into the pan. So this is the kind of gross bit. I know it is not pretty, but once that's out of the way, you don't have to deal with the raw liver again. So we're going to cook this for a total of 40 minutes in the pan, and we're going to take the foamy bits off the top of the water, or any scummy bits that arise to the top of the water. We're going to take those off and just discard those. So we're going to cook and simmer at a medium heat for about 10 minutes, just to remove any scum from the top, and then we're going to add in our onion, and we're going to cook that for a further 30 minutes. Just on a gentle heat, a medium to low kind of heat is fine, just enough to cook the liver through well. So while that's cooking away, we're going to add all of our oatmeal into a pan or a tray, and we're going to toast it in a medium heated oven for about 10 minutes. We're then going to grease a pudding dish. So this is going to be a steamed haggis. It's going to be steamed in a big pan of hot water. So you're going to need a steaming dish like this. You can use a ceramic one as well. I like to use this one because it has a nice lid with it. And we're then going to drain our liver and onions into the bowl. So if you just make sure you remove everything into the bowl there, it doesn't matter if you get a little bit of the liquid in there, that is fine. So we're just going to take it all out. You could use a sieve as well. And we're just going to chop this up really fine, or just as fine as we can without mincing it. If you want to run it through a mincer, you can, but really you can just chop it up as fine as you can on the chopping board. So if you do that for a few minutes, just keep at it. You really want your onions to be quite small when you start as well. So you're looking for something like this. It really is kind of like a minced sort of texture that you're looking for. So we're then going to add all of our liver and onions into our mixing bowl. We're going to give that a stir through. And we're then going to add in our salt. So you do need quite a lot of salt for this recipe. It sounds like quite a lot, but you do need it just for the flavour of the oatmeal, and just to give everything a really good flavour basically. And we're just going to add our oatmeal in there as well. So this is toasted now, our toasted oatmeal. So it's been toasting away for about 10 minutes. And we're just going to give that a really good stir through. And we're going to add our suet in there. Again, just give it a really good mix through. This is a really basic, easy recipe. There's nothing complicated about this at all. And then we're going to add loads of black pepper. You can also add a touch of spice in here as well if you want to. It is entirely up to you. Just a pinch of chili powder would be quite nice. And we're then going to add in our stock from cooking the liver. So it's basically just the water from the liver pan. So don't discard all your water from the liver pan when you're cooking it, because you want to keep some of that to pop back in here. So we've added a couple of cups in. So you're looking for quite a runny kind of consistency. Just want to give that a good mix through, and we're then going to pour it into our stewing pan. I like to add a bit of greaseproof paper at the bottom because it just helps to
get it out of the pan once it is fully cooked. And I do that for all my steamed recipes as well. Just a little trick there. So we're going to smooth that over like so. And then I'm going to pop the lid on. Now my lid just clips into place. If you're using a ceramic one, you'll have to make a lid out of tin foil. So we're just going to pop a plate into the bottom of our pan, and that should be at a simmer. And we're going to top that up with some hot water as well. So we want to fill it up almost to the top, but as you can see, it's just underneath the handles here, and that is enough. You want to keep an eye on the water when you are cooking this all the way through, because you do not want to run out of water. So we're going to steam it for 2 hours, and it should look something like this when it is finished. You will have to give it quite a whack to get it out of the tin. It does tend to stick a little bit to the sides, but this is actually the pudding completely cooled as well. I took it out and had left it to cool, and I popped it into a dish. You don't have to do that. You can take it out when it is hot, but I find if you leave it to cool, it does come out easier from the dish. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be roasting my haggis in the oven just to crisp up the edges. So I'm going to do all these potatoes and neeps as well, with dots of butter in the oven, and we're just going to roast those up in the oven as well. And these are super delicious with haggis. Traditionally, creamy tatties and creamy neeps would be really, really nice with traditional haggis, but I like to sometimes do them roasted as well. And I'm just adding a little, just under a cup of water in there as well. So I'm doing some cabbage as well. I've added a good dot of butter on the top, and I'm just using some seasonal cabbage. I'm just seasoning it with pepper and salt there as well. And I'm also going to be popping in some apples. So we're just going to give that a good stir through, and I'm going to cook that down as well. So it's just a really nice dish to use at this time of year. You don't have to make this, but I just like to cook up whatever is seasonally available. So this is just what I'm cooking this autumn. So my haggis was roasting in the oven at 160 for about 30 minutes. As you can see, it is really crispy and brown. You basically just want to cook it for as long as it takes to brown it off, because obviously it is cooked inside, and if you've left it to cool completely before taking it out of the pudding pan, you want to make sure it is cooked all the way through again as well. So it was about half an hour that I cooked it for. I'm then just popping my roasted potatoes and neeps around the edge, and I cooked those for about 40 minutes as well at the same temperature. And we're just going to cut into this haggis now just to have a little peek. This recipe is so delicious, and it is quite complicated to make traditional Scottish haggis at home, but this is just such a good way to get a taste of what a haggis would taste like. It is a kind of milder version of a traditional Scottish haggis in my opinion, but my kids love traditional haggis and they loved this recipe, so if they like it, it's definitely a winner. So it should look something like this when it is cooked, and it crumbles really nice as well, like a traditional haggis. It tastes very similar, in my opinion, to a traditional haggis. You can also spice it up and use different flavourings in there as well. So I've just added some of the cabbage and apples on there too, and we just all helped ourselves out of this dish at the table, and it was a really, really nice meal. So simple to make, but really, really enjoyable, and it'll just give you a taste of what it's like to have or make a lovely haggis in your own kitchen. And if you're feeling brave, you could also make a whiskey cream sauce to go with this as well.
So I hope you enjoyed making your mock haggis, your pot haggis, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure you'll agree it is super easy, and I know some of you can't actually get haggis where you are as well. I've had a few people ask me to make a haggis, and I'm not really prepared to make the full traditional Scottish haggis quite yet because there are quite a lot of ingredients that I'd have to go and source, but I might try it one day, you never know. But I hope you enjoyed making this easy version for the meantime, and it just gives you a little taste of what real haggis actually tastes like. It is stronger tasting than this haggis, but it's really, really nice. So if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up, and if you click that subscribe button and the little bell next to it, I will see you guys again soon. So take care, lots of love, bye bye.